Hey guys, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I'm your host, Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to our podcast. If this is the first time you're coming, thank you for joining in. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. I totally appreciate you for that and love and support that you give. So, with that, today I want to talk about love, right? And being in a relationship during COVID. Now, if you're in a relationship, we'll talk about that. If you're not in a relationship, I'm going to start there. Okay? If you're not in a relationship, that's okay. Don't go find one right now, unless that's your goal. But if you're not in a relationship right now, take this time to date yourself, right? Take this time to get to know yourself. So, as some of you have heard, if you listen to the podcast previous episodes, I talk about being your authentic self, right? That's a basis of a lot of the things I talk about, being your true self. So in that, start by getting to know yourself. And if you have come out of a relationship and now you're rolling solo, good. Take that time. Date yourself. Take yourself out on a date, or buy yourself something nice and sit down and have a conversation with yourself. Make yourself a nice dinner, have a glass of wine or a bottle of beer, whatever it is, your drink of choice, and just sit there and talk to yourself. I know it sounds weird, but it actually is really good for you. And I've done it. I was alone, even in a relationship, I was alone. Not now, my husband is awesome, but in the past, I've been in relationships and been by myself. So I've had these conversations with oneself. But start off with, hi, my name is, right? So always start with the introduction. So introduce yourself to yourself, okay? And then start asking yourself different questions. So, what do you like to do? You're pretending you're on a date with yourself, or you're actually on a date with yourself, right? So you're asking yourself all the same questions that you would expect your date to ask you, right? So, your name, definitely start off with your name and in an introduction, right? What it is that you like to do. And sometimes this is where a lot of people get stuck too, because it's like, dang, what do I like to do? Right? Well, do you like to go out to dinner? Do you like movies? What kind of movies do you like? Do you like to read? What kind of books do you like to read? Who's your favorite author? What was the last movie you saw? What was the last book you actually read completely? All right. Even if you haven't read it, what was the last book you listened to completely? Where do you work? Do you like your job? Do you like your co-workers, right? How big is your family? Are you the oldest or are you the youngest? Do you have any children? Do you want children? Do you plan to get married? Ask yourself these things, all right? Do a self, and this is an assessment of yourself, actually, right? So you're not only getting to know yourself, but you're doing an assessment of yourself to see, hey, am I where I want to be, right? So, do you love to travel? Yes. Where was the last place you traveled to? Did you travel alone? Did you enjoy yourself? Where would you like to go next? Right? Those kinds of things. So, with that, you learn what you like, but then the next step, start doing those things if you haven't done them in a while. If you haven't seen a movie in 6 months, find a movie on Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon or whatever. Buy a movie and sit at home, pop some popcorn, and watch it, right? Have a dialogue with yourself about, how'd you like that? Did you see that character? I don't think they did very well with that. Have a conversation about it. Break it apart, right? Go to a bookstore or peruse a bookstore online and find a book that resonates with you. Read it, and then you can journal about it, or you can actually voice record about how you liked it, how you didn't like it, what you thought about it, good, bad, indifferent. Would you share it with someone? Those kinds of things, right? And then your next thing you want to do is start taking it to the next level. Once you find that you are learned something about yourself, because I guarantee you will learn something about yourself, then you're going to start to meet people that resonates with you based on the things that you're now doing. So you may meet someone in a bookstore. Go to those little, I like those mom and pop bookstores or those mom and pop stores. I love those, right? You meet some really interesting people in those. And by interesting, I mean good people with good conversation, right? And take yourself to a part of the town that you've never visited and shop there. That's one of the things that, my husband and I love to do, go to places that we've never been and sit and talk with the people that live in the local area, right? Learn about the local area, the people that live there. And, you'll be amazed about the people you meet. I just told a friend of mine about this who just got out of a relationship. I said, the reason why you're not meeting new people is because you keep going to the same places where you met the original person. Now it's time to branch out. Now it's time for change. Okay, so then that's where it is when you start meeting, or when you start dating yourself, right? So then the next thing is, if you are in a relationship during COVID, it can be touchy, right? Because you're home together 90% of the time. You're working from home. You're trying to maintain that work-life balance, which is, oh my gosh, every day is a struggle. But it can be done, right? So we're working at work-life balance and still trying to maintain our sense of individual identity and that couple identity. So one of the things you do is you start to, again, you introduce yourself to yourself. Now introduce yourself to your spouse, right? Hi, my name is Diana. Nice to meet you. How are you today? You have to stop and consciously have these conversations. And it may seem weird, and the first time you do it, your spouse is going to look at you like, what is wrong with you? We've been home together all day. And you're going to say, hi, how are you? Absolutely, because I want to know how you're doing right now. And, that's where you actually have to consciously put your phone down, look at each other in the face, and have a conversation. I know it sounds weird, but we're so attached to our devices, and I'm very guilty of it, that we have to consciously put them down and have meaningful engagements with our significant others, right? So one of the things that I find that is helpful, especially during COVID, is reliving how you met and actually talking about how you felt in those moments and what was going through your head when you first met. And I think it is so cool to do that. We've been doing that actually for the past few weeks because, again, it's COVID. We're locked in. No one wants to go out to eat. I mean, we really didn't go out to eat much anyway, but we don't want to be out in the middle of people and things. So we were getting into that routines rut space that couples get in, where you just come home, work, go on a computer, do some stuff online, watch a movie, watch a ball game, and then it's like, all right, it's time for bed, go to bed, and then you just do it all over again. And so how do you change that routine so that you're not stuck in a rut, right? So what we started doing was like, gosh, you remember that first day you called me and what we talked about and how we felt and things like that. So it's those reliving moments. So I like to say it's, reliving our love story and how it came to be. And the changes that we made. Now, yes, we're still, people like to call us still newlyweds because we've been married 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years next year. No, it'd be 5 years. And yeah, God, we've been together 5 years, been married 4. So we're in some people's minds still considered newlyweds, but to me, it feels like we've been married for ages, and that's a great feeling. But anyway, so we talk about how we met and where our headspace was when we met, right? So you start rejournaling your love story. And I think that's a beautiful thing to do. It's the first time I've ever done that because there was no one ever in that space that was willing to do that or thought about having that conversation. So having that conversation was like, wow, yeah, where were we? God, you remember we used to take every moment we could to be together and hang out and do different things. So why is it so hard right now? Right? Why is it so hard to find something to do with each other or find that spark? And I think it's because just the things that is going on in the world, no one's in that space. And it's sad, it's hurtful, and I wish it was something different that we can do. But some of the things that we came up with to kind of just start changing how we see things, we started first talking about how we met. That was the first piece. What sparked you to call me? What sparked you to answer? What sparked you to come with me on that date? You know? And then after that date, where did you go? What did you think? How did you feel? All right. What made you want to call me back and say, let's do it again? That kind of date. So, you start with the dating piece. What was the most memorable part of the date? Right. And then when did you know you wanted to date me after that? Right. That's a good one, right? What made you want to come back and date me? What did you like about me? What did I say that made you want to come back and have a conversation with me? And then, did I tell a joke or something that made you laugh? Is there something that you found endearing about me? And then if they met your friends, have you ever met my friends? What do you think about my friends? Did you like them? Did you would you still date me if you met my friends first? That kind of thing. And then think about the things you spent time doing when you were dating. What are the kind of things that you did? Where did you go? Where did you eat? What were your favorite places to eat? What was it difficult? What were difficult times that you had together, or even difficult times that you had apart? And then, if you can, what was a special moment that you shared together while you were dating, right? And I'm sure there are several, but what was one that really stuck in your mind? It's like, wow, that was amazing. And then, one other thing that we ask each other is hilarious. What do you think of my family? What do you think of my mom, my dad, my brother and sisters, right? And the same thing, because you ask each other the same questions, right? So it's just those things to kind of reconnect you back into why you fell in love with each other. Because I wanted to talk about this because it is coming up to next month. October is Domestic Violence Month, and yes, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month too. But myself and the CEO of Glam Gloss Kiss will be talking about domestic violence for the month of October, and I wanted to at least start off with love and caring for those of us who are in relationships that are trying to build and keep what we have, especially during this pandemic, right? And it's hard. It's a struggle trying to remember why you like that other person, because some days you don't like that other person. You're looking at them like, okay, Why are you still here? But you know that there's something about that person that you love, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So what is it? What was it? And can you find it again? That's the goal. Because like I said, we're going to be starting to talk about domestic violence in October, and that's going to be a lot of pain, a lot of pain. I am a former victim of domestic violence. Every day I'm healing. I have a daughter who's a victim of domestic violence, and every day she's healing. I have friends who are victims of domestic violence, family members that are victims of domestic violence that are constantly healing. It's a journey, and we're going to talk about that. But during COVID, I think we see it's a lot more, because now we're home together and we're seeing parts of each other that were hidden because we were not home. We were working, come home, do our routine, and then go back out and do it all over again. And now we're face to face with it, right? So now that you're facing it, talk about it. So on a good note, relive your love story. Ask those questions. Why do you love me? What do you love about me? Right? And when did you know that you love me, or you want to marry me, or you want to spend your life or have children with me? You wanted to start this love journey, right? And that's what you have to do. That's a way to, I don't want to say have to. I don't like to say you have to do anything, because you don't have to do anything but live your life and at some point die, right? That's the only thing you have to do. But I think it's a good place to start reliving those memorable moments in your conversation, memorable moments in your life, memorable moments in your relationship, right? So even all the way up, I mean, if you've been married for more than 10, 15 years, think about the moments you have and that you shared with your spouse. Oh my gosh, live it up. Start from the day you started to date to the wedding, the reception, the honeymoon, if you had a honeymoon, and then the life you live. Think of the story you can tell, and the questions and the things you can relearn about each other. Things that you knew but you forgot because life happens, right? And you get on a tangent to make money, build a family, and you forget about those little moments that made you smile when your husband stepped in the room, made you smile when your wife put on that dress, right? You forgot about those moments because as human beings, we begin to take each other for granted. So start reappreciating the person that you have. Start reappreciating the love that you have, and reignite that spark that lived between you, right? And then watch your love regrow all over again. Dance in the kitchen to your favorite song at random moments. Hold hands while you walk across the parking lot to go into the supermarket. Look at each other and smile just because, right? Admire each other. And, you know, your husband's going to say, why are you staring at me? Because you're handsome. Because I appreciate you, right? Because I'm thinking of the moment when I said I do. Those kinds of things. And then watch how your relationship changes, and changes for the better. So, yeah. So those are my points for today as we go into the month of October discussing domestic violence. I want to talk about love and the love story and the journey to the love that you now have with yourself, or the journey and the love that you have with your partner, right? So with that, I'm going to let you all go. Be well, be blessed, take care of yourselves and each other, because no one else is going to do it if you don't. All right. So thank you all for joining in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like my page, rate my page. I would definitely appreciate it. I am going to be fixing my landing page soon, so soon you'll be able to go to the website. But in the meantime, I am on Facebook and on Instagram, and you can also reach me by email, dc@thesoulfuleclectic.com, or you can also sign up on my landing page, send me your email, and I will definitely shoot you a message back. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Much love.